Welcome to Demystifying APA Part 2. Yay! Here we're going to be mostly talking about in-text citations. So if you recall, we were looking at the About tab from Northwood University. And when you write your in-text citation, again, use whatever is found at the left margin plus the date. So if you use an in-text citation, if you use any information you took from About, then you cite it in the parentheses with About and then no date, close parentheses, and then the period. If you have more than one source with About, like if you use Northwood University About and Cisco About, then use the name of the organization as well. So a direct quote is exactly what the source says. It's verbatim. And this is from the Northwood University website about the history of the college. On March 23rd, 1959, two young men with an idea, a goal, and a pragmatic philosophy to encompass it all broke away from their careers in a traditional college structure to create a new concept in education. Their visionary idea became a reality when Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer enrolled 100 students at Northwood Institute using a 19th century mansion in Alma, Michigan as a school building, a small amount of borrowed money for operating expenses, and a large amount of determination. So, if you were to quote that entire section, you might start, in fact, it'd be nice if you would, with a signal phrase to let your reader know the context of the quote. So, Northwood University began on March 23rd, 1959, blah, 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 and then About, comma, no date, close parentheses, period. A direct quote is just that. It is absolutely the same words in the same order as the quotation. Now, let's stick with this quote, and a better way to integrate it would be to have more of your own words and a little less of the direct quote, because direct quotes can be distracting and they can be something that your reader just skips. So Northwood University began in 1959 when Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer, quote, broke away from their careers in a traditional college structure to create a new concept in education in Alma, Michigan. Again, using the citation in parentheses. And it's fully integrated. You've quoted less. It's a little better. But you can do even better, or you can do different things. So you have the original, and you can use ellipses. And you use ellipses when you use the quote but take parts of it out. So here's one. Northwood University began in 1959 when Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer broke away, and then I eliminated some sections, to create a new concept in education, close quote, in Alma, Michigan. So everything from broke away to create, I eliminated from the quote because I thought it was unnecessary for my needs. So I took away from their careers in a traditional college structure. Okay, so you can eliminate some sections. And here's another way you can approach quotes. Northwood University began in 1959 when Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer, quote, created a new concept in education in Alma, Michigan. Again, the information in the parentheses. Created did not appear in the original quote, but I needed a verb. And so the brackets indicate that I put in those words or changed the tense of the word. In this case, I changed the tense from create to created because I needed it to be in past tense. So that change is indicated in the brackets. Okay, so when you paraphrase, which is a much better alternative, you write it in your own words. So keep in mind what the original is, and then let's look at an example in which it was almost okay, just not quite good enough. Our Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer had an objective and a pragmatic philosophy. They saw their visionary notion become a reality when they enrolled 100 students at Northwood University. If you look at the original and you look at this, you'll see that basically I changed 3 words. Goal became objective. Actually, I only changed 2. Goal became objective, and visionary idea became visionary notion, and I included pragmatic philosophy. When you paraphrase, you write it in your own words, all of your own words. You don't follow the pattern of the original, and you don't use any of the striking words in the original. If you want to do that, then put them in quotation marks. But to not put them in quotation marks is to plagiarize. So look away and tell your reader what the paragraph actually says to you. So Dr. Arthur E. Turner and Dr. R. Gary Stauffer started Northwood University in 1959 with the intention of offering practical skills for the next generation. That's my take on what that paragraph says. And that's a paraphrase, and it's not plagiarism. So notes on quoting. Quotes are verbatim. They can be adjusted with ellipses or the brackets. They require introductions or signal phrases. They can be integrated and need not be whole sentences. You can quote pragmatic philosophy if you want. Just put that in quotation marks. They require in-text citation. They require your evaluation and thought. Whenever you use a source, let the reader in on why you chose to use that source out of the world of possible sources. Why did you include this bit of information? Why is it significantly? Quotes should be used sparingly. Diana Hacker and Nancy Summers, who wrote a pocket style manual, tell you that you should use quotes only when the language is especially vivid or expressive, when exact wording is needed for technical accuracy, and when it's important to let debaters of an issue explain their position in their own words. When you paraphrase, you say it in your own words. It's much more than changing an occasional word or words. It's changing the sentence pattern and all of the words. It's your interpretation of what was said. And it's preferable because when you write a report, it's your name on it, not the other person's name. It relies on key points. So read it and then look away and think about what you got from the original. It requires in-text citation and it requires your evaluation and thought. Let's talk a little bit about charts, and you can look on page 306 to 308 for more information on that. Line charts are good when you have long periods of time in which you want to demonstrate changes or trends in data. The vertical dimension represents the values, and the horizontal dimension represents time. A bar chart compares the magnitude or size of items either at a specified time or over a period of time. Pie charts are percentages that make up a whole. An exploding pie chart, I thought this was really fascinating, is one in which one wedge is pulled out for emphasis. And they show how different parts make up the whole. What is the most significant part? What is the least significant part? And when you create one, you start at 12 o'clock and move clockwise in some sort of logical order, maybe from greatest to smallest. However, maps are also considered charts. Charts can act as a help, but not a substitute for narrative presentation and interpretation. So either before or after you use a chart, preferably before, you provide some sort of narrative that lets your reader know why you're including the chart and how you are interpreting it so that they look at the information that you're offering with similar eyes. So, no naked charts, lead into them, give them context, tell the point you want to make. So, this is a chart from Google, and it was from the 2012 investor earnings. And as you can see, Google did pretty well in 2012, in a time when many other companies weren't. So here's the point you want to make. Despite the economic woes that plague the world, Google continues to increase profits as indicated in the chart to the right. Label your charts as figures and assign consecutive numbers. Cite it. Cite it within the body of the text and on the works cited page. And if you are going to take a chart from some other place, take a snapshot of it and include it in that way, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. So here's my summary. No naked quotes. Paraphrase and sum up each point. Use in-text citations and use the references on the reference page. Direct your attention to the chart points so your reader knows what to look for. Your first draft is due Friday for peer review, and we're going to be talking about talking headers and the direct memo of transmission next week. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, email me or call me. Thank you. Bye-bye.